to the Lezlie Show. Woohoo! We're going to talk about getting your mojo back. We're going to talk about revitalizing your life, getting the groove back in your life. We have two really great motivational speakers today. We have Mr. Marc Gatson and Cesar Hernandez. Woo! So stay tuned. Yeah. Hey, Marc. Welcome to the Lezlie Show. It's awesome having you here today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So you're a motivational speaker.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, and Purpose Chaser too, right?
Yes.
So tell me, how did you get to become a motivational speaker? What inspired you to get into that?
I have to give that to my mom. My mom would have me come to her school. Like when I was 14 years old, I was breakdancing, and she would have me come and do a little break dancing for her classrooms, and then afterwards she would have the kids ask me questions. So I kind of fell into it that way. I like people, so I kind of, been doing it for a while now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I find with motivational speaking, sometimes you have a real deep drive, like you've had situations in your life that have really kind of brought you forward. And
yeah.
I know I've heard about you that you're really good at motivating and helping people. So can you tell us a little about your life and anything you've gone through that maybe inspired you more to get into the motivational speaking?
Absolutely. I speak from a perspective that there's no excuses. You can do anything you set your mind to. Close your eyes, dream about it, and make it come to reality. Personally, there are some things that happened to, my family in my life, particularly my mother. My mother's a survivor. She had a really, really bad accident or something happened to her when I was 1 year old. She almost didn't live. She got shot 3 times in the face, and she was beaten and raped. And I was 1 year old at that time. So to see her persevere and accomplish all the things, she ended up being a vice principal of a school for a long, long time, getting her college degrees. So to see her go through that, it just kind of blew my mind. It just kind of, I grew up with a person like this in my life who taught me that there is no excuses. So I think that's where, in my heart, that's where the speaking comes from.
So basically, you've seen your mother go through all these different tragedies, and you thought, well, if she could overcome that with what she's gone through, then I could overcome different obstacles in my life.
Oh, absolutely. She never stopped. I've never seen her stop. And I've had a few baseball championships. I've had a boxing championship. And she was always right there pushing me to go forward, not complain, be strong, and persevere.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I know you've told me before, like you've had some transformations in your life too, which I call growth experiences. Would you be comfortable sharing any of that?
Absolutely. I like to share, when I speak at different, colleges and high schools, people who can understand, life change, I like to let them know that, life is not perfect. Life is sometimes not fair. I've been to prison. I've been, down the wrong roads. I kind of straightened out my life a little early with the help of my mother, and I came out of it. I had to kind of distance myself from the particular crowd that I was hanging around, adapt myself to who really I am. I'm a smart guy. I'm not really a dumb guy. So I didn't belong in the environment that I had chosen to be in. Mm-hmm. So I had to refocus my life. And I see a lot of people out here, a lot of guys and women, unfocused in their life. And I just want to let them know that, they can refocus their life and bounce back, because I did it for sure myself.
So how did you do that, though? I mean, being that so many people have struggles with that because of their past, was it just that you had this epiphany and you said, you know what, I am going to completely change my life? Or how do people really make these changes when so many people don't? Is it just a decision you made, or?
Well, I think, thinking about the things that my mother taught me in my teenage years, that kind of goes, you kind of just at 16, 17 years old when you're in a different environment. And for me, it was my family. My family was, they're pretty hardcore gangbangers and stuff in LA. And getting around them, I thought that was the way to go. But when I was incarcerated, I had a few guys talk to me and tell me, this is not the place for you. You're a smart guy. You have some good people on the streets out there. So get yourself educated and never come back here. And I listened. At some point in your life, you have to listen. You have to listen. And you have to recognize that the road that you're going down will lead to an end if you don't stop it soon. And I knew that. And then, all the people that I was around back in those days, they're a lot of them have fatalities right now. A lot of them aren't here. A lot of them are in prison right now. And that would have been me. Mm-hmm. That would have been me.
Wow. So you've made some amazing changes. Like you opened up this custom workouts gym, right?
Yeah.
And how long have you had the gym?
For 13 years now.
13 years. That's great.
Yeah.
And I know you do more than exercise in there. From what I'm understanding is you do, I guess you call it affirmations, or could you explain a little bit why you feel your gym is different than other gyms? Or
Well, I think that, it's a family. A lot of people call it the Cheers of the, if you've ever seen Cheers before, sitcom back in the 80s, I believe. But it's a family environment, and I wanted something that would be a family environment. We have a lot of young kids that are going through crisis, and we help them, we talk to them, we motivate them through a workout. We give them a place to come, to get them off the streets. I give them jobs, to teach them work ethic. I talk to them about how they need to be speaking in the work environment. We change a lot of people's lives. A lot of people need, I would say, therapy. And all the time, I don't feel like therapy is just mental. It can be physical as well, and you can put them together. Mm-hmm. So we pride ourselves on not just being about fitness, but being about, the whole aspect of life, period, through nutrition, through stability, through your sleep patterns, your stress level, and also your environment. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, could you tell our audience today some practical things we could do to get back our mojo, or just to get back in the groove or feel better? Just practical, everyday things people could take away from the show and maybe make it a game changer.
Absolutely. I mean, for one, wake up in the morning and be happy that you're here. If you have 2 legs, 10 toes, 2 arms, and 10 fingers, man, be happy about that. Appreciate yourself for who you are. Appreciate the good people that are around you. Learn to distance yourself away from negativity, period. Be positive at work. Don't let life always be about just you and your needs. Serve the universe, serve the human beings out here. Do things for other people. It's so satisfying for me to do things for other people as opposed to just doing for myself. I feel like once I had I called it calling, I feel like God, not to get too religious, I feel like God let me know at one time that I'm here for others. Mm-hmm. It's not just about me. Mm-hmm. I did me, and I kind of messed that up a little bit, turned down the wrong lane. And now I think that I get blessings by doing for others. And that's what my environment is about, at Custom Workouts. And I love doing it. I love doing it. I love seeing people change their lives and be positive about themselves and be healthy about themselves, eating through their food, through their emotions, through their mentality, and through their workouts.
So basically what you said, you wake up in the morning and you have an attitude of gratitude, like, thank you that I'm alive, thank you that I'm healthy, thank you for my life. Yes. And then you're saying, don't really be too self-centered. The world isn't about you all the time, to start focusing on other people.
Yes.
And how you can serve and influence other people. And you also mentioned about nutrition, so you're feeling that what you put into your system makes a big difference too on the way you feel.
Oh my gosh, Lezlie, with me, the nutrition that I put inside my body, it gives me, either I'm going to put stuff in my body that gives me energy or stuff that's going to bring me down.
Right.
I'm in front of people all day long, maybe 11, 12 hours of the day, and a lot of those people depend on my energy. I don't depend on their energy, they depend on my energy. So I like for them to see me strong. I like for them to see me with energy. Mm-hmm. Therefore, I can't put things in my body that I'm not gonna be like that the next day. I also have ADHD, so I'm on go all the time. And being on go all the time, I like to be positive and doing things that are very, very productive to our society.
Right, exactly. So when you get up in the morning, what do you have for breakfast?
Either a protein shake, or I have a couple of egg whites with some carrots, maybe some almonds. Sometimes I'll have some oatmeal, and I'll put some protein powder inside of my oatmeal. Just kind of healthy little things that I've learned from all the nutritionalists that I've been around. They've really, really helped me out a lot. So big ups to Susie out there and Rachel out there. You know, my girlfriend, she's just great and cooking things that are very, very healthy for me and her. Big up to Stephanie out there. So yeah, that's what it is. But mainly, you know, when I'm in the shower, I'm always thinking to myself, okay, today's gonna be a great day. And whatever comes along that may not be so positive, I'm gonna handle it.
Right.
Because every day things can happen. You don't know what's gonna happen from day to day. And whatever happens, I'm just gonna handle it and I'm gonna stay positive. Nothing's gonna bring me down. Things happen to people every day in life. It's all about how you handle it.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Instead of being the victim mentality, it's like, you know what, I'm in charge of the way I feel.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give my power away to anybody. I know, like, after every show, I say, don't ever give your mojo away.
Yeah.
So that means that guy in the street that cut you off or whatever, you just want to make sure that you keep your mojo and you make a mental attitude every day that this is going to be a good day. It's a choice, right?
Absolutely, it's a choice, Leslie. And I believe that, you know, things happen in everybody's life, but you know what happened in my mother's situation, that wasn't my fault. It happened, and I had to deal with it. I had to deal with it and live my life, not be a victim to it.
Right, right.
Okay, and live my life being a victim. Of course, it was painful when I finally, you know, grieved over it. When I finally thought about how it could have affected me. But it didn't. Me and my mom are very, very close. We moved on with our life. She's a very successful person, and she showed me, like, wow, you, no matter what happens in your life, it's just all about your mentality and how strong you are. And it's not about being a victim. I have never seen her be a victim. So she kind of instilled that in me, and that's what I instill in my kids, and that's what I want to instill every day to everybody that I come across. Don't be a victim, no matter what happened in your life. You went through a divorce, you know, something happened to your kid, or, you know, somebody's lost in your life. That didn't have anything to do with you. It happened. You can't control it. Work with it, be strong, and persevere.
Mm-hmm. Well, how does that work with the exercise too? I'm getting the feeling that maybe you do 20 push-ups and then you say an affirmation with the push-ups, or how does the exercise incorporate with your attitude?
I get a little crazy when I'm working out, Leslie. You know, I because the workout is so good to me. The workout is such a blessing. The workout is the stress reliever.
Okay.
I mean, people don't understand. They think it's about, you know, being big or having big biceps or having big triceps or big chest or whatever it is. That's a bypart.
Okay.
The real effect of a workout is what you get from your endorphins, is what you get out of that stress relief. When I get done working out, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, Jesus, for giving me another healthy day on this earth. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm thinking about. I'm competing with myself as I'm working out, do more, have fun, be healthy, and be strong. I'm thinking about all that while I'm working out.
So these are the thoughts going through your mind for the whole hour you work out, or two, I don't know what you work out, but the whole time you're thinking of positive statements, that you're having a positive life, you're helping other people. Absolutely.
And I hang around people. I try to not only hang around people like that, but I also train people like that. Like, you know, I was training Luis Escobar today, and he's so positive and so inspiring, and you know, Lindsay out there and all my other clients, all the whole boot camp, they energize me. They don't know it, but they energize me. They give me motivation because they're so strong and we think alike. This workout is the time of day that's for us. Mm-hmm. The better you take care of yourself, the better you can take care of those around you.
Right. The better you feel about yourself, the better you can take care of other people.
Absolutely.
Well, Marc, it's really been great having you on the show, but I just want to reiterate what we've already talked about for our audience out there. So when we get up in the morning, we want to first of all have an attitude of gratitude, right? Give thanks we're alive, give thanks for our health, just give thanks for so many things.
Yes.
And we want to make sure we put some good things in our system, a good diet of a nice smoothie with proteins and, you know, I think
energetic
some
foods.
Energetic type of foods. Yeah. So it's our thoughts. that control the way we feel and what we put into it, and of course exercise. Is there anything else you want to add to the equation before we go today?
You're going to be strong, and you're going to handle whatever comes your way for that day. Life is full of challenges, and you're going to have challenges every single day, but you can handle it.
Okay, we're in charge.
You're in charge, that's right.
Okay, well, I see your friend is here, Mr. Cesar Hernandez. So let's give a nice welcome for Cesar.
What's up?
All right.
Lezlie, how are you?
Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm sorry, let me step in here and grab this mic and put this mic on real quick.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay.
All righty.
All right, we're live. Let's get it.
Okay, cool. So he was telling us about his background, how he overcame a lot of different challenges.
Yes.
So I was wondering, now you have what they call Purpose Chasers.
Yes.
So I'd like to ask you, how did you get into Purpose Chasers? What was your driving force? What was your motivation to get into that?
Sure. Well, I didn't get into Purpose Chasers with the intention of building a business. It was something that came from as a result of just inspiration of my own life. So there was at one point where I was super stressed out, had a lot of anxiety, and was overweight. And so I made a decision that I wanted to change that. And I did, and I lost 75 pounds in about 3 months.
Wow.
And that was my epiphany moment. I think we all have these moments in our life that we call our epiphany moments, right? They're like that moment where it happens, something happens, the switch goes off, and all of a sudden we're on a different path, we have a different direction that we're going in. And so Purpose Chasers essentially came from my pain, from my hurt, from my anxiety that was turned around and headed into a different direction that had purpose now. My life felt like it had purpose now. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create other people that wanted to become Purpose Chasers and go after it, go after life. So.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how long have you been free of your anxiety? It sounds like you've maybe experienced depression and anxiety.
Yes.
You've totally changed yourself around.
Yes.
How long have you been, with this new persona, maybe the word?
Absolutely. So when that happened, that was back in 2011. But what I like to say is that yesterday, because yesterday was filled with stress and certain amounts of anxiety, right? Like every single day when we go through, Marc was just saying, you have to stay strong. Things are going to be coming at you. You have to stay strong. You can get through it, right? So it's like an everyday thing. So to me, even though that was the pivotal point back in 2011, I feel that the stresses and the things that we have to deal with on a daily basis, those are things that through health and fitness, you can conquer every single day. And so when someone asks, when was the last time you felt stressed out? Well, shoot, man, I felt stressed out 5 minutes ago. But it's a thing that because of the health and the resilience and the result of being healthy and strong and fit. I mean, look at Marc. Look at this guy.
I know.
He can just punch his anxiety straight in the face. It's just one of these things where when you feel that and you walk with that and you embody that, man, all those things just really are just a lot easier to deal with. That's right. A lot easier to deal with. So
how do you wake up in the morning? He was saying that he wakes up with an attitude of gratitude.
Yep.
Like you just roll out of bed. He sounds like he's innately his chemistry in his body is innately happy. Some people, their chemistry is not innately happy.
Yep.
I don't know if you're innately happy or you have to work at it.
Yeah.
But what do you do when you get up in the morning? Do you go, woo, I feel good? Or do you just
Yeah, so what I use a system that I call non-negotiables. And non-negotiables are essentially like what Marc's talking about. Like in the morning time when you wake up with an attitude of gratitude and you wake up and you say, thank God that I'm alive, right? Like, thank God that I was able to breathe today. And then you kick it off with like maybe a workout. And after your workout, then it's like a protein shake. And you have this regimen that you go by. And so when you follow that regimen, that becomes your non-negotiables. So before the emails, before the messages, before the Facebook, before the Instagram, before all of those things, and people try to come and take your time, it's you time, right? It's like your time. This is your time for you to be able to take care of yourself. Right. And so when you take care of yourself and you have these non-negotiables on a daily basis, that's how you can cultivate gratitude. And you can cultivate. So when you wake up in the morning after practicing it for years, that's where you just wake up and you're happy and you're going because you practiced so many times.
Oh.
I didn't used to wake up happy or with an attitude of gratitude, but I practiced for years and years and years. And so as I was able to do that day in, day out, month after month, year after year, that's where you establish those habits and being able to create the person that you are now.
So does this help with, I don't know if you know what I mean by triggers.
Yep.
So a trigger would be something that triggers you, like that person just triggered me, or the situation just triggered me.
Yep.
Do you feel by doing this you're less triggered?
Yes.
Where one person might just go crazy, like that guy's got me so mad and my day is shot, where another one's like, oh well, let it go.
Yep. So what I say to that is that, and what you're talking about when you talk about triggers, you're referring to like associations that we have. So think about the last time that you were driving down the street and you heard a song from back in high school and it took you back to Tommy when you and Tommy were dating, and all of a sudden you're having all these feelings. You're like, man, I remember Tommy, and oh my gosh, and it was amazing, and you feel that inside. That's an association, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So when it comes to associations and it comes to like what it is that we have in our mind, that's conditioning. Everyday conditioning. So when it's the condition, when you're conditioning yourself and telling yourself a certain story every single day, it becomes your reality, right? So let's say, for instance, Lezlie, that you and I were going to see something horrific. Maybe there was a car accident, and we're standing in the same spot, and we look across the street, and there's a car accident, and we're both there, and we're like, wow. There's a huge car accident just happened, and maybe you're freaking out, running around like 911, 911. I turn to you, I'm like, Lezlie, are you hungry? Let's go to lunch. And you're like, what? What are you talking about? It's because I've conditioned myself, and I'm telling myself a completely different story than what you're telling yourself. It's in the same sense when you go to a movie, and maybe you and I are in the same movie. We're watching Superman or Avengers or whatever it is. I'm thinking about, me and Marc have conversations about this all the time. It's like a funny running joke with us, because when we go to movies, we don't see the action, we see the philosophy. We see like the grind, we see the hurt, we see the pain. We're like, oh my gosh, I've been through that too. Like, I'm able to overcome that. While people are seeing Iron Man shoot a little laser out of his hand, we're seeing like, man, that's the gym.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, you know, and so it's those things that, you know, those are the things that that through associations and you know, through making sure that every single day that you're telling yourself a certain story, and you have those non-negotiables to be able to, like, when something like that does happen, something bad happens or an event happens, you're conditioned in your mind to where you don't get triggered right away. And that's how you control that. That's how you control that, because it's just practice. It's practice, practice, practice. You'll never become peaceful if you don't practice how to become peaceful.
Okay, so maybe the question is too difficult, or you couldn't really explain it in a show like this, but how do you reframe that quickly?
Yes.
So two people are seeing the same exact situation. I know when my husband and I go to a movie, I can't even stand it. I actually have to walk out, and he's like, oh, it was no big deal. Why are you so affected by that? But how do you reframe it so quickly where you're able to deal with it, where somebody else, you know, took it so hard?
Yeah, so that's like kind of like talking about switching your state real quickly, right? So we all go through states. We go to states of emotion. So it's happiness, sadness, joy, you know, a misery, like whatever it is. And there's certain ways to get yourself into a state of happiness, into a state of like ultimate, I feel amazing. And so you just have to figure out what you can do to shake up your chemistry. And that's why movement works so well. That's why the gym works so well. And it's a great metaphor for life, because when you're able to go in there for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, and knock around some weights, or do some burpees, or do some push-ups, when you get down to do the push-ups, and maybe you're at a certain level, when you're done with those 5 to 10 to 20 push-ups, your brain chemistry is different.
Oh.
Now your state is completely different.
Because you put serotonin and dopamine in your brain.
Yes, and it all releases. So what you need to do is to be able to say, okay, so what are the things that I can do that will take me into a different state? So obviously in the movies, you can't stand up and be like, yes, I'm amazing, because you interrupt everybody. But you might go maybe to the restroom or outside into the hall, and nobody's around, and maybe you have a conversation with yourself, and you affirm to yourself that there's something that you're going to take yourself to a different level. I am strong. I'm amazing. I can get through this. This is nothing. I've been through this before. I can go. And then you just click over, and you practice that enough times, and then you'll be able to go in with a different state. And that's essentially like how, if I'm trying to shake myself up, and this is the way I always put it, this is my little analogy, I always talk about burpees and broccoli. So burpees and broccoli like changed my life, because number one, broccoli is completely alkaline, which helps you breathe and helps you feel amazing and alive in its raw form, because it's filled with energy. And burpees give me the energy. When I go down there, it changes my state. So burpees and broccoli together. So if you're ever in a bind, girl, just get some broccoli, eat some broccoli, and do some burpees. You'll be fine.
Wow, that's cool.
You'll be fine.
It's medicine.
Yeah, that's your medicine.
Cool.
That's your prescription right there.
Okay. Yeah, I put all the greens in my smoothies because I don't like to sit in there eating broccoli, so I'll put it in my smoothie and mix it up.
Yeah.
But so the attitude of gratitude, and we want to just make sure we exercise, get that dopamine in the brain.
Yes.
And we want to just have some really good thoughts going and not go down with life. We want to keep our mojo going.
Absolutely.
So they told me
Mojo.
we're about out of time. Is there anything else you want to add before we close?
No, I think that it's just important for all the viewers and everybody out there watching. And I think it's just super important for everybody to realize, like, you have to live on and with purpose. Because if you don't establish a reason why you're getting up every single day, then you're just kind of dragging yourself up out of bed and hitting snooze, right? Like, you're doing that on the daily. But when you wake up and you have something that pulls you and yanks you out of bed and forces you out of bed, that is filled with something beyond just yourself. Our purpose, for instance, myself and Mark, we've been through a lot of things in our life that we've been able to come out of, and now we help other people do that. That's our purpose. We help other people find their fitness and the joy and the happiness. So you have to have purpose. You have to have purpose in your life to be able to really accomplish any goal, whether it's fitness, in your finances, in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Have purpose.
Right. To have something to wake up for.
Yes.
Motivation.
Motivation,
Yep,
right.
That's it.
Okay. Well, boy, this has been so much fun having you guys on the show today. I really appreciate you being on my show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Well, you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for being on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.